Buddy, I got 7 o'clock. This is the Farmington Town Board meeting for March 26. We have no public, yes, we do have a public hearing. Let me call the in the schedule here, we're going to do the pledge of allegiance first and then the public hearing, because that's the way it's on the agenda.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Normally, the public hearings are first. Yes. Clerk, go ahead and read that.
Please take notice that a public hearing will be held by the town board, the town of Farmington, on the 26th day of March, 2024, at 7 p.m. at the Farmington Town Hall, 1000 County Road 8, Farmington, New York, to consider the proposed rezoning of 2 parcels of land involving a total of 61.1 acres, identified as tax map account numbers 41.07-1-28.210 and 41.07-1-28.300 from PD Plan Development to IZ Incentive Zoning for the project currently known as Whitestone Development Partners LLC Mixed Use Project. Any resident of the town of Farmington shall be entitled to be heard upon this matter at such public hearing. This by resolution of the town board of the town of Farmington.
Thank you, Michelle. So anybody want to speak? Jerry, you start off?
I will start off. Evening, Mr. Supervisor, members of the town board. My name is Jerry Goldman. I'm the attorney in Lucian for Whitestone Development Partners. Betsy Brugg has been here previously, my partner. She is out of town. So you have the humble substitute this evening on the public hearing. Our co-presenter is Jess Sudol from Pastoral Associates, that we've seen throughout this project. As the town clerk has pointed out, we're here this evening on an incentive zoning application for the roughly 65 acres located at the southeast corner of Route 332 and County Road 41. Historically, it was the Glacier Lakes project, which did not get any traction. And this represents most of the property of West Glacier Lakes. As the board may recall, a rezoning was done a number of years ago for the far western portion or eastern portion of the site for the Pintail Crossing residential development. So now we have the 65 acres which remains for development, and Whitestone has analyzed this property backwards and forwards and taken a look at it and has come up with a concept for a mixed use development on this site, both commercial and residential. We understand that the town has had an interest in the commercial development of the frontage, and that is what is being proposed. And in addition to that, in the interior portion of the site is proposed a residential component. So along the Route 332 frontage, we have modified our program to further encourage the commercial development, which the board has been interested in. We originally had 4 parcels out in front. We now have 5 commercial parcels. On the County Road 41 frontage, there's only 1 piece, which is part of our project, which we are proposing for general use, either general business, light industrial. At this point, conceptually, we have that as a self-storage facility on the site. So we have undergone the normal course in dealing with an incentive zoning application. We came here with an original letter of intent on October 17th, and we worked with the town board, worked with town staff, a number of DRC meetings, gone to workshops. We have gone to the town planning board on referral from the town board as is required. They've come back with comments. which we have incorporated as part of what we are doing. We've gone to county planning, which is in the last month, and they went through a full analysis as well. All of the content of which I'm speaking is contained in our letter of intent dated February 28th of this year. I trust that the board has had an opportunity to take a look at that. So I'm not really going to get into the granular details of compliance with the comprehensive plan and the standards for incentive zoning. Those are all laid out in the letter of intent. I think at this point, Jess is going to present the some of the nuts and bolts of the plan that we are presenting this evening. I noted on your agenda, there is a resolution to consider a secret resolution on this. We do understand on the second motion, which was listed, a second resolution, which was listed, that this matter will not be a topic for decision tonight. There's further discussion to be had, and the matter will be tabled to the April 9th meeting. So we'll get that out front for any members of the public who are interested and may want to know what the course is, but we're fully prepared to move forward with further discussion on the application after tonight's meeting. So with that, Jess, we'll turn over the floor to you.
Thank you, Jerry.
You're welcome.
All right, again, Jess Sudol, project engineer, civil engineer with Pastoral Associates. Been before this board several times now, obviously, so I will spare everybody the time of going through the site plan in a high level of detail, but I do want to point out some of the changes that were made since the last time we presented in front of this board. Namely, as Jerry mentioned earlier, a rather significant increase in the commercial component of the project and the corresponding reduction on the residential townhome side of the project. As a result of one of the workshops that we had with town staff, the new dedicated road which we are proposing, and again, that dedicated road does a number of things, namely, it provides access to all the commercial areas without them having to have individual curb cuts on 332, which is of course in accordance with that comprehensive plan and any applicable corridor studies of 332. But that dedicated road has been adjusted and moved further to the east. There was previously, for those of you that may remember, there was another road in this area which contained residential units on it. So that road and those units were removed. The road was pushed further to the east, which increased the commercial area by approximately 50% in land area. And what that essentially allowed us to do was incorporate an additional pad site. The first time we submitted a plan, there was 3 commercial pads. We're now up to 5. We are conceptually showing, and of course, this is pending, some kind of approval on the rezoning request followed by a site plan review. But we are showing 2 10,000 to 15,000 square foot pads in this area, which could be some kind of office or medical use, we hope, a quick serve type restaurant with a drive-through, a hotel use, which we think shows, or I should say works well with the surrounding area. And we've also gotten some interest from some of the different hotel vendors that we work with. And then another smaller pad here on the southernmost portion of the site. And then of course, we've also included future access and easement to the south, so that those properties can also benefit from the proposed light and all the infrastructure that we are doing. So with that, less residential density here, more commercial. Now the parcel as a whole is just over a 4 unit per acre density, which again is down from where we originally started. Just to reiterate some of the amenities, just because we've added a couple or 1 or 2 each time we've gone through the process. We are proposing, of course, as we have from the beginning, the sidewalk that goes south from our project down to Farmbrook and provides connectivity there. Of course, we're providing a sidewalk along our frontage as would be required. It's not necessarily an amenity, but does provide the connectivity for our sidewalk to the south. Then lastly, or not lastly, but we've also added a sidewalk that extends to the north, indicated by this number 5, up here to the intersection of 42 and 332. Then we have this full frontage, which again all funnels to the new intersection, which will have a pedestrian crossing, would allow both residents and people currently in the area alike to gain access over to the Auburn Trail. So again, that was really the primary change that we did make. Some of the past changes, we modified the site layout a number of times to make sure that all these dedicated roads were independent of any of the projects so that they could be properly maintained and didn't have individual curb cuts. Everything that exists over here in the easternmost part of the project would all be private infrastructure as we've represented all along. But now that we have over 600 feet of commercial frontage, so think about 2 football fields of commercial property before you get to the residential. From 42 and from 332, these units, these townhomes in the back, probably wouldn't be very visible at all, especially with the relatively flat topography. So we've really continued to cluster them in the back, which is again, just different iterations as we've gone through this process. So there's also some additional amenities that we've talked about in the past that involve, again, dedicated roadways, connectivity, water connections, pedestrian connectivity through the project, as well as a donation to the Beaver Creek Interceptor Force Main. So with that, again, I went through it pretty quickly, but I believe the town board and staff are already quite familiar with the project, so happy to answer any questions or elaborate on any of those points. And I believe Jerry might provide some additional info.
Yeah. I'm just gonna add a couple of words because it is an incentive zoning application, and it's worthwhile for us to discuss the incentives and the amenities. The amenities in particular are of interest. Just went through a lot of them dealing with the public sidewalk going essentially north and south from in front of our site. We're prepared to upgrade the traffic signal, which is already a part of the projects to the west, and put a 4th phase on that signal as part of what we are doing. This internal road is going to be dedicated to connect to Quentinshire. And in that way, we're able to eliminate and reduce the number of curb cuts on both 332 and 41. And that's really the objective for access management, a lot of what the MTOD is designed to do. You mentioned Beaver Creek, which is something that the town has had great interest in terms of trying to collect monies for the Force Main project. And for the most part, what we are doing is tracking what the town's comprehensive plan, the Ontario County housing plan has stated. So to that extent, we think we have a very good amenity package in terms of incentives. Because of the fact that Quentinshire is going to be dedicated, we don't really meet the distance separation for the roads coming from the individual out parcels, but we need to be able to do that, and that is an incentive that we are seeking in addition to our definition of uses, which we'll be discussing further with the town board. So, anything more you want to add? Nope. Okay.
Just because it is recorded and the residents can view it at a later date, just go over the phasing of the project.
Sure, no, I'm happy to, and thank you for pointing that out. But with the residential units as well as the 5 commercial pads, this will not be built all immediately. It will be built over phases. For starters, even if we went through the entire process and everything worked out as it might normally, this isn't a project that will start construction until most likely next year. The first phase is really, we're hoping at least 2 of the commercial pad sites, the self-storage use on 41, I apologize, I said 42 earlier, and probably about 1/3 of the townhome units. So that would be built over the course of the year. The commercial pad, hopefully after we get started underway and people see activity happening there, we could get a couple more of those commercial users interested. So that the second phase would include building out the remainder of this frontage of the commercial properties, and maybe the second third of the residential units. Then the third phase, which would most likely be year 4 or 5, assuming that all of the other townhomes had interested people that were living there, and there was obviously the strong market demand verified. Then we would build the third phase, which would essentially just be the balance of the townhome units.
Okay,
With that said, if we out of the gate had 5 commercial users that were interested on day one, we would probably approach this board about including more than just 2 in the first phase, because, you know, obviously we want to build them as soon as they're interested and available. We have had a lot of interest for the commercial uses, but the interest really can't go very far because the zoning, you know, we don't have our zoning yet. We need some kind of approvals before we can engage in letters of intent and start nailing down actual uses that can be presented to the town. Did I answer the questions?
very good. On board, any questions? Staff? Anybody in the audience or online? All right, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Next item on the agenda is the approval of the town board minutes for March 12th. Second. Motion by Mike, second by Steve. Any corrections? All in favor? Aye. Right, privilege of the floor or public concerns? Anybody online, privilege of the floor or public concerns? Anybody in the room? Okay, reports standing committees, public works.
Yeah, a lot of stuff, just, we reported in the past, the wastewater treatment plant, had some brief discussions on some increased plant security down there. Roof repair, we're still waiting for, some geese to abandon their nest for the year before they can finish, some repairs up there. Still working on, sludge, we've got in excess of it, so they've been doing some extra hauling over the last few weeks, and sounded like today it'll be continuing probably for at least the next month. Hydrodyne, the fairing replacement, that's been scheduled for the week of April 15th. Waiting on the parts still. Flash mixer scheduled to be shipped out April 17th. Nothing has changed as of yet. Brief discussion on locations of flow meters throughout the systems. We've been doing manhole inspections, repairs in cobblestone. Those are almost all done. There is, I believe, Josh reported 1 left there. New valve turner that we had ordered has been built. It's going to be delivered to us the week after Easter. There is a heater on the unit that'll be installed after we get it, but we'll be able to use it until that gets here. Brief discussion about one of our dump trucks that's been at Van Bortle, waiting to go to Tenco. And I believe the supervisor talked to them today, and Tenco is going to be picking that truck up to get the hydraulic leak repaired. So maybe we can see the truck at some point. So
Interesting conversation.
that's about it. On the wastewater treatment side, highway and parks, a lot of the ongoing stuff we talk about every time, obviously equipment maintenance is nonstop. Hauling and salting, picked up multiple runs this last month. They finished cutting up some trees over in the Calm Lake area. Pothole repairs, they also moved the electric speed signs over on Amber Drive, or at least one of them. After our discussion last meeting, they've been doing some straightening and repairing street signs from the winter, plow damage. And so we've had some windy conditions, picking up trees along the roadside. Parks, kind of similar, ongoing plowing, salting, getting stuff ready for the summer, still finishing painting picnic tables and benches. And they've been working on a new sign out here at the town hall. They ran conduit for electric, got the lights up, and there's a new flower bed going out there. And they've already started their spring mulching at the court building. That's about it.
It's the town operations.
Town operations met this morning. We got 7 resolutions tonight. We will them later on. Parks and Recreation survey of the town residents. We send it to the town board meeting in April. Then we can begin an update to the town Parks and Recreation Master Plan. TAP grant documents have been submitted to Albany, and we expect to approve the contract out on next meeting on April 8th. The Ag Advisory Committee received a preliminary draft for the APOD, which is the Agricultural Protection Overlay District regulations. And we discussed that at our last meeting, and we will again continue that discussion on April 19th. And the last thing on the list, I don't know if I should mention it, but I think maybe we should wait till it happens, but I'm gonna say it anyway. Farmington Market Center is gonna present their preliminary to the planning board. So we get, am I right? So
That's what we've been
we'll
told.
see what happens with that. And maybe you know more about that. I don't know. I guess it's the next meeting, so hopefully that'll continue along. Pretty much the town code enforcement officer, will go over some things, and I don't know if Ron has anything else.
All right, thanks, Mike. Reports of town officials, supervisor, did receive today from Karen Modine, the town of Victor clerk, that there is a solar project on the western border of Farmington with Victor. And we give this to the town clerk with the staff. It's available for you to look at, and we do have to respond here by middle of April. If we have any concerns on it. Today at the county, I was at the Economic Development Committee meeting, and Thursday we have a Board of Supervisors meeting at the county. And also, we discussed this morning with Public Works, April 8th for the eclipse. The town will remain open. We have very few employees that want to take the day off, so as far as emergency response or whatever, I know that New York State Troopers and Ontario County Sheriffs and all the emergency EMS and fire department people in the county have plans, and you may see extra vehicles or more presence on April 8th because of the traffic expected for the eclipse. Just a reminder to the town board, we have a finance meeting coming up on the 16th of April, which is after our first meeting in April at 8:30 in the morning. It'll cover the 2023 year-end numbers and first quarter 2024. Also, there was an article in Wednesday of last week's paper, Daily Messenger, where the city of Canandaigua was able to get a $1.75 million grant. And they're going to use that to improve their water quality. They'll be adding mixing devices installed into their water storage tanks, which should lessen the TTHMs that ourselves, Canandaigua, Bristol, Village and Town of Manchester and Wayne County were been getting higher readings last year. And so we're hoping that that process will help lower the TTHMs, and then they're going for another grant this year to continue their plant upgrades and maintenance, and we'll definitely send them a letter of support for that. And that's all I have. Highway and Parks.
Well, just to repeat from this morning, April 8th on the eclipse day, we are actually going to start our 10-hour days in the highway and the parks. I figure maybe we may need a little extra time. We will have trucks loaded with barricades and cones, as the county and the sheriffs has asked us to do that, to be prepared. So we will be prepared for that. Right now, our fuel tanks are full, but I'll make sure that they are topped off before that week before the eclipse. So the fire department and sheriffs will have plenty of fuel on hand. And the only other thing is today they were able to connect electric out at the sign. So hopefully they got the lights aimed in the right direction, and we'll check it out on the way out tonight. See what it looks like.
Yeah, so when we leave tonight, we should see the lights on.
Yeah, and another thing, they did put a plug out there. So, basically Jeff, thought maybe it'd be a good idea to have a plug out there so they could just sand it down and paint it right there without taking it down, but there's ever any other use that you would want out there for a plug.
Good.
So maybe you wanna
Well, the Christmas tree.
blow up Santa Claus at Christmas time or something.
Yeah. Very nice.
That's awesome.
Good to know. Town clerk.
Tomorrow I have a county clerk association meeting here. We're gonna post it here. Also, taxes are winding down. I will settle next Friday at the county. Hopefully everything goes well there. And last Saturday was Easter egg hunt. Good turnout for it snowing and stuff, so,
It was cool.
that's cool. Some Band-Aids were needed, but,
A lot of snow in the bags with the eggs. So,
so that's it.
Keeps the candy fresh.
Yeah.
Then we noticed Monday, I think it was, where father and two kids were out there gathering
There's,
leftover Easter eggs after the snow melted. It was good. You still got a couple prizes that had not been
Yeah.
claimed.
yeah, I think there's 4 or 5 left out of the 9 I had.
Okay. Good. Water and sewer.
Well, we got off to a good start with our new water tank project out on Brickyard Road. We've got the pipe in from the tank site down the driveway out to the road, 2 16-inch pipes,
Both of them?
both of them.
Nice.
And they boxed out the center to put the stone in between where the 2 pipes went down the road, so that's kept for stone for the driveway when it goes. It's all said and done. And they move back to Yerkes Road to start the pipe all the way from there down to tie into there and then go all the way down Brickyard and across Janeco's property and all the way to town.
Yeah, he's not gonna waste any time.
No, he's already moving.
I thought it looked pretty good down the driveway too. I was
Yeah.
surprised. Not too much damage or anything.
Yeah.
Good, no complaints.
Yeah.
Yeah.
about 2 cents on that.
Yeah. Building and zoning.
Happy to report that my part-timer will be back on April 8th, from his trip to Florida over the winter months. So that will be great to have that additional help in our department right now, and, also want to report that our court case regarding 778 Hook Road has been dismissed. It's been resolved and we're moving in a good direction.
That's all we wanted from the very beginning.
Yeah.
And you have another new employee starting.
Yes, I do. I'm actually gonna probably talk about that at the next board meeting, but she starts on the 9th, which is obviously your next board. I'll introduce her at that one.
Very good. Planning board, Adrian.
Our last meeting, we finalized the Union Crossing updated plan for the new building, they're building there. And then our next meeting, we have, Fowler Family Trust, 3-lot subdivision. Working on that, and then, Pintail Crossing. Working on that preliminary, and then we're working on a final with, Chief Police over here on, forget the name of that road. Redfield Grove Commercial Developments. And we have a final 2-lot subdivision for Nate Power Min again. And then some board actions with some solar stuff with that Victor project that you brought up earlier and some other solar stuff maybe around here. So they're gonna be busy and I will be on vacation.
There's always one.
Yep.
Non-director planning and development.
Well, I'm pleased to announce tonight that the county has received $75,000 to allow the start of the Black Brook drainage study with Victor and Manchester, I believe. And we'll be working to put together a committee on that and moving forward. I have a resolution tonight for waiver of the rule. It's for the water main connection between Country Max and Ingleside. We're trying to save a couple of weeks in the review process by declaring intent in giving notice to the involved agencies. We have a presentation coming up in April on the resident survey and the results of that survey. And we'll be moving forward once that's out with the formation of a committee and updating the Parks and Rec master plan. And then just to let you know that the town clerk will be amending the official zoning map to reflect the Redfield Road change with phase 3 of the incentive zoning project there, reducing the number of lots along the east side of Commercial Drive from 6 to 5 or 5 to 4, excuse me. And the town ops report has been posted on the website today. That's it.
Great. Thank you. Bill, town engineer.
Just a couple other additions. I think most things been covered. Town Park, they also poured the slab out at the pavilion, so we're hoping to see that structure come in April. Things seem on track there. The CMOM report and the pre-treatment documents due to DEC should be on schedule for submission before the 28th. And then there's a resolution on tonight to award Grove Park project to Road Tech, who's the low bidder. That's about it. I did get a little feedback from Seward today on the Plaster Mill Pump Station. I can fill in Public Works this week.
Thank you. No discussion tonight. I had a short conversation with our recreation director earlier this evening. He has put out the schedule for ball field uses this summer, and had one organization that wasn't too happy with the schedule. Mark said they did it fair and square, and he'll send me the details so that if I get a complaint, I'll be able to back the decisions of the Recreation Advisory Board. Agriculture Advisory Committee, Hal, anything?
A couple things. We met last Thursday. The issue was raised that the tab on the town website for our committee was quite out of date. And Dan informed me tonight that he's made changes, so we made some progress there. It was misleading and inaccurate, for somebody that didn't know any better.
Sure.
Yeah, so thank you for that. As Mike said, we did take our first look at a first draft of an ag protection overlay district. Pretty big document. Some of it is updating zoning to actually create a new zoning district. Ron could add more to that. And then an added feature is the actual overlay district. I would tell you that this is a pretty heavy lift for our committee. And probably Ron's clock is ticking faster than ours is. It'll take a little bit of time for us to wrap our brains around this and massage it until it's a proposal that we're comfortable with. I'm very concerned that there needs to be a compelling value proposition to landowners to do this. So we're gonna take a slow, measured kind of approach to this. Ron's draft is we now have a framework to start from. He raised some urgency about doing zoning updates and raised the possibility of separating that part of the proposal from the overlay district. That's a decision for you people in terms of your work, but that might not be a bad way to go if it is indeed urgent to do the zoning changes quickly. And I guess that's all I've got. Bear with us, and we'll there needs to be some give and take on this.
Sure. What's the saying, Rome wasn't built in a day? So,
Well, yeah, I don't know, if we're building Rome here, but we're.
All right, yeah, no, thanks for your comments, I appreciate it. Communications are on file, works and minutes are on file. First resolution is establishing the penalty date for all unpaid 2024 first quarter accounts located within the county of Farmington water and Victor sewer district as of May 1st, 2024. So, second. Motion by Nate, second by Steve. And then the bills are going out probably by the end of the week, right? All in favor? Aye. Who's confirming resolution accepting a maintenance bond for RG&E substation 127 in the amount of $103,508.83. So,
Second.
okay, motion by Ron, second by Mike. Any questions there? All in favor?
Aye.
Reads a resolution authorizing the waiving of the Retention Lodge fees for Cobblestone Arts Center parent presentation, March 28, 2024.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Steve, second by Mike. We've done some of these for Cobblestone in the past. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Fourth resolution authorizing budget amendment, debiting money in the New York State aid expense A 1110.22 and state aid and justice A 3089 in the amount of $297.63.
So moved.
Second. Motion by Mike, second by Ron. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Five is a resolution to award a contract for the Farmington Grove Park site improvements to Road Tech LLC, cost not to exceed $331,400.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Nate, second by Steve. Again, it was very good. We had 6 bids. 3 bids were within budget and close to each other. So we're very happy with that dollar amount. All in favor?
Aye.
6 is a confirming resolution authorizing the payment to Joe Johnson Equipment for a rotor pump repair at a cost not to exceed $5,298.71.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Steve, second by Mike. Any questions there? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. 7 is a resolution authorizing the acceptance of the water and utility easements for property located at 5602 County Road 41.
So moved. Second.
Motion by Mike, second by Nate. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
It's a resolution authorizing acceptance of the storm and sewer utility easements for property located at 5602 County Road 41.
Second.
Any questions there? All in favor?
Aye.
9 is a resolution for a final release of funds to letter of credit, release number 2, Home Power Systems, 1127 Corporate Drive East, in the total amount of $6,742.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Nate, second by Steve. All in favor?
Aye.
Number 10 is a resolution authorizing the final release of funds from a letter of credit released to Swetman Properties, Lot R6B, in the total amount of $46,624.
So moved.
Motion by Mike, second by Ron, any questions there? Long time coming. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. 11, resolution authorizing the acceptance of part 2 and 3 of the full environmental assessment forms for Whitestone and Center zoning, and authorizing the continuance of the public hearing on the Whitestone and Center rezoning action.
So moved.
Motion by Mike, second by Ron. Again, we took, resolution 11 and 12. It was originally on the agenda in around 4 o'clock this afternoon, put them all into one resolution. Any questions on that? I did get a chance to go through the parts 2 and 3, all 10 pages. Looks in order. All in favor?
Aye.
Nay.
A nay? Number 12 is the resolution authorizing provisionally to hire an assessor A effective 1 April at a rate of $18.50 per hour.
So moved.
A motion by Steve, second by Ron. This will almost get the building department full, not quite.
That's the assessors.
The assessor office, I mean, will be full. This is a different position than I was thinking. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. 13's abstract 6 to pay the bill. General fund, $156,671.06. Highway fund, $22,837.67. County road water line, $312.50. Sidewalk capital project, $9,840.79. Town park improvements, $21,657.50. Town hall capital project, $3,149. Retention water line, $795. Water tank repair, $17,160. Route 332 in Colette, $805. Storm drainage, $2,243.01. Lighting district, $1,815.46. Sewer district, $113,563.23. Water district, $113,578.12. Payroll deductions, $7,328.24. For total abstract data bills, $471,756.56. Can I have a motion, please?
Second.
Motion by Ron, second by Mike. Any comments, questions, corrections, abstentions? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Tonight we have 2 waivers of the rule. First one, any objections to waiver of the rule? First one, the resolution authorizing the town supervisor to sign a proposal for professional services with MRB Group. And this is for the water main connection service between Ingerside Machine and Country Max at a cost not to exceed $8,850.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Mike, second by Ron. Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Second one is resolution authorizing and classifying the action entitled Country Max Ingleside Machine Water Main as an unlisted action, declaring the town board's intent to be designated lead agency status under provisions of the state environmental quality review regulations, and directing a project notification review letter in fact to be provided to other involved agencies as part of the coordinated review under 6 New York CRR Part 617 of the State Environmental Quality Review Act. You have a motion? Moved. Motion by Steve, second by Mike. Any questions on this one? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. I have nothing for executive session. Is there any other concerns online or here in the room from the public? Hearing no public concerns, I take the motion to adjourn.
Second.
Motion and second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you, everybody. Good, Dan.